We are now open for business. This is Cesar Vallejos bringing you yet another episode to guide you in discovering your passion and growing your business as we learn from experts in the field. Sama-sama tayong matuto sa isa na namang makabuluhang usapan tungo sa pagpapaunlad ng inyong negosyo. Ang Open for Business ay mapapanood nyo rin sa Facebook at YouTube. Siguraduhin mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media page at Net25TV. Ating alamin at suriin mula sa mga negosyante, thought leaders at mga personalidad sa iba't ibang larangan ang mga strategies, trends at mahalagang karanasan sa pagninegosyo dahil tayo ay open for business. Tulad ko, kayo ba ay laging nag-a-add to cart? Palagi ka rin bang may reminder na 880808 o payday sale? Sabi nga ng iba, nabudol ka na rin ba? Magmula ng pandemic, marami sa atin ang biglang namulat sa mundo ng online shopping o e-commerce. Para sa ating mga buyers, simpleng pag-add to cart lang ang kailangan gawin. But wait, there's more. What's behind enabling an e-commerce for brands and retailers? How do we manage it efficiently? Sino nga ba ang makakatulong sa atin para maging successful e-commerce entrepreneur at marami pang iba? Let us find out about the World Wide Web of e-commerce. Sa pagkakataong ito, makakasama at kakausapin natin ang isang e-commerce enabler, Mr. Steve C., the founder and CEO of Great Deals, only here in Open for Business.
Araw-araw may bagong kaalaman. Dahil sa Tony Knows, everybody knows! Your Kuya Tony Petgaba na hindi naubusan ng tips. Siyempre, from DIY to life hacks, sagot ko na yan. Saan ka pa? Let's all play together. Let's have fun together. Tara na, sumali at makigulo sa aming kada challenge. Sa kada umaga, kompleto na ang inyong umaga.
Open for Business is back and we're here with a dynamic young man, the founder and CEO of Great Deals, Mr. Steve C. Pag-usapan natin ngayon kung ano nga ba ang e-commerce at ang proseso sa likod nito. How are you, Steve?
Hi, Cesar. Thank you very much for inviting me to your show and to all our viewers. Hello.
Steve, nang pag-usapan natin kanina off-cam, ano ba yung e-commerce at saka ano naman yung e-commerce enabler? Kasi some of our viewers, they have their e-commerce sites. Pero ano ang pagkakaiba nito pag sinabing e-commerce site sa e-commerce enabler?
Yes, so simple definition ng e-commerce is everything you buy online. That's e-commerce. So it started way earlier during, I think if you still remember yung panahon ng Ensogo, Cash Pinoy, Groupon, yung mga deal site. People will order online, it will take weeks before they receive it.
Tama.
But now, it has evolved to so much more, like Lazada, Shopee. Ito yung tinatawag natin mga e-commerce marketplace. Merchants, business people can set up shop inside the marketplace and they have their own online shop. Or you can set up your own, tinatawag natin brand.com, your own web store, so that you can cater directly to your customers. We, as an enabler, we help brands, retailers, businesses to go online. So, isa sa mga importante as an e-commerce enabler kasi, there's a lot of intricacy. A lot of Filipino thought na pipicturean mo lang yung product, popost mo lang sa Facebook,
E-commerce na
yun, di ba? That's the
Oo.
most, sabihin natin, basic. But in terms of converting people to buy online, there's a lot of complexity. Like, what kind of content, what kind of digital image will you show? How do you manage your shop? How do you activate yung mga digital consumers natin that will convert them to buying your products? So all of these things are important. How fast will you be able to fulfill? When we say about fulfill, syempre mga Pilipino palagi mahilig umorder. Pag umorder gusto nila, next day nandyan na yung delivery. Di ba? So how fast do you fulfill? At importante kasama rin yung chat support, yung customer service. Kasi alam mo, di ba sa Facebook, pag may nag-post, may nakasulat na 50 pesos, unang comment, sis, how much po? Di ba? So, somebody has to answer that or else nagagalit yung customer. Kahit nakita na yung presyo, gusto pa rin magtanong kung magkano. No? So, those are some of the intricacy that we do for all of the brands. We take care of digital content, online shop management, warehousing, fulfillment, pick and pack, chat support, customer service, and last mile delivery hanggang mag-deliver yung package mo to your home. So, the e-commerce enabler, yun yung negosyo namin. We take care of the end-to-end. Ibig sabihin, from digital content hanggang last mile delivery, ina-outsource na sa amin ng mga brands at retailers so that you'll have a full online shopping experience on a much, much better scale.
So, ibig sabihin, Steve, kung ako ang brand o ako yung retailer, all I have to do is call the likes of you, and then from zero, you will do everything. So you will set it up, you will do all the creatives, and all I have to do is wait for sales. Ganun ba kasimple yun?
Technically, ganun kasimple, but we do a lot of business planning with them, how to grow their business, knowing their brands, so that we know how to cater to their target market. Kasi syempre, iba yung kilala ka na sa retail store, sa mga traditional outlet, at iba rin kung kilala ka rin ba sa digital economy natin or the new online shoppers natin. So there's a two major different and also different consumer behavior in terms of people buying online. So yun yung mga things that we help the brands with. We help build a good business planning with them so that they can grow their business. No? So yun yung ginagawa namin for the likes of Nestle, Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Abbott, San Miguel, NutriAsia, and around 500 plus brands that we handle online.
Napansin ko dun sa mga brands na sinabi mo, Steve, these are actually big brands and retailers. Ang tanong ko is that, is there a separate platform also for SMEs, or kaya ba nilang i-duplicate yung ginagawa ninyo on a smaller scale? Because the business of Open for Business is to also somehow give tips and guidance to small businesses. Kasi sabi mo nga kanina, pag sinabing online shopping, at saka lalo na nung pandemic, maraming natulungan ang e-commerce or online because yung iba na nawalan ng pwesto, halimbawa sa palengke o kaya sa mall, pumunta sa online at doon na nag-establish ng online business. So, ito ba yung sinasabi mo bang mga pamamaraan, the things, specifically that platform, what is the version for SMEs for this type of platform?
Alam mo, that's a very good question, Cesar. I'd like to share my personal history. Okay. I was a merchant sa Lazada, selling power banks. Pero panahon pa ng 2014, ganun na katagal. No?
Tama na, abutan ko yun.
Yung Lazada noong time na yun, parang swimming class pa yun. Hindi pa nila alam kung ano yung online shopping noong time na yun. Ano ba yan? Talagang nagbubudol ba kami o hindi? No? So those were the times na I was selling cellphone accessories, power banks. Yun yung nag-start ng e-commerce journey ko. Ang kagandahan dyan, ang maganda sa e-commerce is it's a very disruptive industry.
Balikan natin yung sinabi mo. Nung nagbebenta ka ng power banks, ano yung platform? Ano yung ginawa mo?
Yes. So, I was a Lazada merchant.
Okay.
No? So, during that time, wala pang Shopee.
Pero may Lazada na.
May Lazada na noong 2014.
Kasi siya yung nauna.
Siya yung nauna. No? Shopee came in 2016. No? So, nauna si Lazada. I was a merchant Lazada. Ang purpose ko lang talaga noong time na yon was to sell my slow-moving products. But then, I always remember this, November 11, double sale, 2014. may ilang libong power banks ako. In just one day, all of them were sold.
Wow.
Nabenta. So namulat ako, nagkaroon ng light bulb moment. Kasi ano ako traditional businessman. I have stores sa mga malls. And I started learning the ropes. And I just like to encourage everyone na still very early pa tayo sa e-commerce space dito sa Pilipinas. Because based on the last statistics, 3% lang ang e-commerce sale ng total retail sales compared to our total retail sales. So 3% lang. China is already at 45%. So
Almost
we still,
half.
yeah, so yung Filipino buying online is still at its nascent stage. Bagong-bago pa lang. So there's a lot of opportunity for people, to grow their online business.
Pero Steve, balikan ko, bakit kaya mababa pa? Alam natin na parang 'di ba lalo na nung pandemic, medyo somehow tumaas na nga yung paggamit nila online. What do you think are the factors why we are still at 3% compared to China, which is
China,
about
which is 45%.
45%? Is it a trust issue? Is it are people afraid yet, or the Filipinos are not yet really into online shopping?
For the past few years, definitely, from 1% na grew to 3% has already been tripled in terms of growth. No? That's why it's still a very new industry. It's just sunrise industry. Now, in terms of internet infrastructure sa atin, alam mo na ba ang Pilipino ang pinakamatagal gumamit ng online at almost 9 hours a day. Ang reason, I think so, is because napaka-pasensyoso tayo. Alam mo yung gumaganyan, naghihintay tayo sa screen natin, nagda-download. Ganun katagal kasi. So it has an impact on people buying online because a lot of our rural areas are still not, able to. May Facebook because it's free, but in terms of internet, online connectivity, yung pa yung mga challenges. Number 2 is yung logistic concerns natin because Philippines is 7,100 islands. In the whole of Southeast Asia, tayo may pinakamahal na sabihin natin shipping fee cost because of so many islands. So those are the two hindrances I would say the main pain point. That's why e-commerce, kasi syempre for example, bibigyan lipstick 200 pesos. Ang shipping fee mo 100. Eh di parang hindi na lang, pupunta na lang ako dyan sa mall ko na makakatipid pa ako. So yan yung isa sa mga major roadblocks in terms of people buying online.
Are there suggestions on how to address those problems? Kasi related itong question na to in the latest SONA by President Marcos. He included the e-commerce law in the priority programs, asking the Senate to enact a measure that will regulate and safeguard online transactions. Ito ba ay maliban doon sa panukalang ito, safeguarding and regulating it, kasama ba yun yung improvements din, like improvements on infrastructure, support for logistics?
I fully support what government is doing, and I think we need more of that moving forward. No? Isa sa mga kagandahan talaga is, that's why as we wait for government support in the industry, we need to do our own ways to help people experience online shopping. Kasi Cesar, sa akin, malaking nagawa ng online sa akin. Malaking, how it changed my life, how it grew my business. And I would like more Filipinos also to be able to, experience how, a store that's open 24/7, that's available nationwide. Dati, pag nag-set up ka ng store sa Makati, nandun lang sa radius mo ng Makati. Now, because of online, you're able to reach far, far wider audience. That's why yung mga mahirap or yung mga struggling businessmen can be able to grow their business online because of those opportunity. Now, isa sa mga nagawa nga namin, even with partnership with the platform like Lazada, is we've done what we call hyper-localization. We set up fulfillment centers sa Cebu and Davao. For us, ang kagandahan niyan, dati, pag taga-Bisaya ka o Mindanao, pag umorder ka sa Lazada o Shopee, it will take 5 to 7 days for you to receive your goods. Now, with hyper-localization, we have trimmed down the delivery time from 1 to 3 days. At the same time, lowering shipping fee costs to almost 40 to 50%. For example, di ba napag-usapan natin yung lipstick? 200 pesos. Pag dati, 100 pesos ang shipping fee. Now, with hyperlocalization, because kung taga Cebu ka, meron na kaming feature sa both Lazada and Shopee that yung nearest fulfillment center ang magpo-fulfill ng order mo, which is based also in Cebu. So, ang mangyayari niyan, from pag Cebu to Cebu, it's gonna be 50 pesos na lang. So, nag-cut natin yung shipping. Nandoon na yung stock. That's why opening this key fulfillment centers in Cebu, in Visayas and Mindanao has lessened yung shipping fee cost. Now, yun ang kagandahan niyan, we'll be able to penetrate more digital consumers doon sa area ng Visayas, Mindanao, which is always lagging behind compared to Metro Manila and Luzon because of shipping fee cost.
So, Steve, yun bang tinatawag ninyong hyper-localization? Ano yun? Marketing strategy ba yun? Distribution strategy ba yun? Kasi parang sinasabi mo ngayon, kailangan, based on your explanation, you have to have the resources also ready because it's like putting up a distribution center in those areas. Is that it?
Yes, it's part of it. So we need to build the back-end infrastructure to support hyper-localization. So right now, we've started onboarding more brands so that hindi lang yung lahat ng, pag binibili mo sa Lazada, Shopee, hindi lang lahat nanggagaling Luzon. Pag taga-Bisaya ka, manggagaling Bisaya yung order mo. Pag taga-Mindanao ka, manggagaling sa Davao yung order mo. Lessen yung delivery time and lesser yung shipping fee cost. So yun na nagawa ng hyper-localization. Hopefully, we grow the 3% total e-commerce sale to almost 5 to 6% in the coming 12 to 18 months using this strategy.
But Steve, sinabi mo nung nagsisimula ka, marami ka din challenges. Nagsimula ka doon sa pagbibenta ng the power banks.
Yes.
Ano yung mga challenges na na-experience mo noon? Like say for example, the challenges that you have encountered as an entrepreneur as well.
Yes,
Kasi lalo na noon, siyempre, I'm sure lesser yung trust pa ng tao noon pagdating sa online compared to now na ngayon, medyo dumadami din na yung online transactions, online banking, di ba? So what were those that you can share to the...
Una, yung cash on delivery namin during that time, 95% is COD.
Tama.
Because people, pag hindi ko natanggap, hindi ko bayaran yan.
Correct.
Yun yung trust issue na pinag-uusapan natin. Now, it's already at around 70 to 75%. Because of the pandemic.
Ano yung figure na yun?
COD na lang.
The COD.
So,
dati from 95
to 70% na.
Okay.
Because more people are using digital payments. Shopee Pay, GCash, di ba? So, all of these other e-wallets that has recent during the pandemic. No? So, it helped us also kasi mas lesser na yung return ng mga stocks. Dati talaga, pag nag-deliver kami ng 1,000 orders, 100 ang balik. Because, parang naging part na siya ng negosyo namin. Bilang ko na rin sa dahil, una, pag COD, ay nakalimutan iwan yung bayad. So ibabalik sa amin yung stock, di ba?
Or umalis.
Umalis, walang sumasagot. Or yung courier, tinatamad mag-deliver. Hindi mo rin alam, ilang beses daw pumunta, pero wala. So bumabalik, ang laki ng porsyentong bumabalik. But because right now, more people are accustomed to buying online, mas lesser na ang returns namin ngayon. So much better na siya compared few years ago na isa sa mga pain point namin. Kasi siyempre, pinikpak mo na, dineliver mo na, gumastos ka na sa labor, tapos hindi pa pala siya nabenta kasi wala yung pambayad.
Pero Steve, dito ba is there also some sort of SRP ba yun? Or rule of thumb? Or like say, standard markups para kumita ka din? Kumita yung mga maliliit na negosyo. I know that of course, with bigger companies like you have a MOA or MOU with the big brands. So you know exactly the cost of the product. But for small businesses, for SMEs, lalo na nung nagsisimula ka, may ano ba to? Kumbaga parang paano ka kikita dito? Magkano dapat ang markup mo? Para, siyempre, magawa din yung serbisyo mo. How are online sellers or e-commerce site owners do their price points or other strategies to make it work for them?
I think one good advice, because we're living in a information age already. One click, you know all the prices of what people are selling and how much they are selling. So it's important, especially for you business owners, you need to have a good branding. No? Kasi kung you set aside branding, hindi ka lang nagiging commodity. Kasi pag commodity ang product mo, price war yan. Pababaan ng presyo. Pero there's such thing as customer service, as branding, as how you relate to your customer. So you build a brand on your product so that you can always give value. When I say give value, kahit mas mahal ka ng ilang piso dyan, because mas madali kang kausap, mabilis ka mag-respond sa mga tanong ng mga consumer, ikaw nabibilhan kasi maganda ang mga reviews mo. So, because of the branding that you started creating. So, importante may branding ka. I think yun yung isang, para hindi ka maging commodity na magpalagi kayo lumalaban sa price war. Naalala ko yan, that was 2014, 2015. Nung first salva ko, sabi ko, naku, paano mabubuhay dito? Kada baba ko ng 10 cents, bababa ng kalaban ng 10 cents, di ba? So, I shifted my strategy to putting brands. No? Naglagay ako, yung mga pinaparating ko dati from China, I put in a brand. So that, itong brand na to, sige, mas mahal ako, pero branded, parang ganyan.
Yung sinabi mo kanina, Steve, napaka-importante ng branding. But I am interested, ano yung mga commodities na binili mo nung una and then you put a brand into it? You mentioned one already, which is eyewear.
Yeah, sneakers, bags, women's clothes, watches. So all of those things I did, even home decor. So I really started with looking at the different categories. No? So hindi lang ako nag-focus on product. Now, what's important right now is to know who your target market is. Kasi nung time na yon, that was effective because ilan lang pa lang kaming sellers sa online nung time na yon.
Mga ilan yun?
Nung time na yon, I think mga 4,000 sellers during that time.
Now, ilan na kayo?
More than 100,000 na,
wow.
Definitely. I think we have grown to almost 200,000, 300,000 during 2020. So right now, 2022, maybe even more people selling online. So it's very important now to know who your target market is. Ang maganda ngayon, mas lumaki rin yung base natin. Pero you have to target the right niche market for you to be able to sell online.
Okay, bago ko mag-follow up question dun sa target market, dun muna tayo sa branding. Mahirap din yung ginawa mo kasi parang marami kang categories na pinili and then you put a brand to it. But there's a science and art also in branding. So how did you do it? What were you thinking then? Do you still go to the, like say for example, bakit mo pinangalanan ng Maldives? Or do you have this specific market research where, ito, gusto nila yung mga social na brand, so gayahin ko, di ba?
Yung totoo, Cesar, wala. So what I did, for example, New York sneakers. So I just choose a city, New York, maganda, and then put it sneakers, and then packaging ng box lang ng New York sneakers, pero yung loob, walang, ano lang yun, white label ko. Ano yung nabili ko lang na product na sneakers, yun lang binebenta ko. No? Wow. So, ganun lang. And it was, we were recognized as the #1 fashion brand noong 2016. Beating the likes online, sa Lazada, the likes of SM, Pen Shop, Bench. So, parang yun yung road to fame namin na parang purely online brand, online sneakers, beating the big brands. So, that's why when I shared my business sa mga brands na I can grow their business online, it's the same principle that I'm teaching them. Ako naman na magpapalaki ng negosyo mo. So yun yung naging negosyo ko.
Hindi, pero interesting because yung pagbabrand mo, kahit na sabihin mong wala kang strategy, strategy pa rin yun. Like say for example, you chose New York shoes because it's it's a popular city in the world. So yun ba when you go back to the early beginnings, parang those are the things that you worked And parang ito ba yung masasuggest mo din sa mga small businesses ngayon o nag-iiba na rin yung market ngayon?
Right now, e-commerce trend continues to change. For example, there are two things. Number one, people that goes to Lazada and Shopee, meron silang intent to buy. Pupunta akong Lazada, pupunta akong Shopee kasi bibili ako something. Now, there's a new trend, Cesar, and hopefully, ito, I'll be sharing to you all of your viewers, TikTok shops.
Oh.
Okay, TikTok, a typical Filipino will go to TikTok not to shop, but to be entertained. Tama? But there are now a lot of people selling on TikTok. So, iba yung consumer journey. In TikTok, we need to create content to convert them to buyers or to activate them to become para bibili sila. Kasi ngayon, TikTok, pag makita mo, lately, ang dami nagti-TikTok shop live, ang daming nagbebenta na sa TikTok. It's a new trend. So, we need to adjust. Dati kasi, kailangan ko lang ng product catalog to sell online. Now, I need content, short video content that can convert to sale. At the same time, uso ngayon ang tinatawag nating live streaming. Or tinatawag nating live shopping. Correct. Or shoppertainment. You know, shopping while being entertained. No? Eh, di ba ang dami yan? Sa Facebook, sa Lazada Live, Shopee Live, Kumu, TikTok, everybody's doing live selling actual. Parang yung mga promodizer na nasa mall, ang tawag na natin nila ngayon, digidizer. Nasa social media na sila at doon na sila nagbebenta. So, ganun nangyayari ngayon. So, those are the trends that you as a business owner should know so that, okay, how do I execute my plan in this new trend? Ang dami na, kailangan ko rin mag-live selling na. Or else, maiiwanan ka ng mga kalaban mo. So, yun yung mga things that we do for the brand. We always look at what's the e-commerce trend and we execute on it so that we'll grow the business online.
Wow, so it's no longer the traditional way of coming up with a commodity, putting a brand into it, but looking at the different platforms, how you market it. Now, natanong ko yung branding kanina. Paano naman yung sinasabi mo na target market? How do you choose a specific target market? Are you looking at price points? Are you looking at specific social demographics? Because nabanggit mo na rin, sa dami ng nagti-TikTok, sino ba yung mga nandyan sa TikTok market? I know that there's TikTok for business as well. I know that even our one of the most serious programs that we have, that's Ali, Pat P, and CJ, they also do TikTok. You know, for them to entice viewers to watch their specific programs. How do you choose a specific target market for your e-commerce?
So, di ba in all businesses, we always need to have one thing, to solve a pain point so that people are willing to buy. Tama. Now, if you know what pain point to solve, you know the product, ang importante ngayon, how do you target them? For MSME, simple lang, I always share two things. Dalawang C, content and community. Make great content and then build your community. Alam mo ba, Pilipinas has the most number of Facebook group in the whole world.
Oo nga daw eh.
Pinakamaraming grupo. Lahat ng Pilipinas sumasali kahit anong grupo eh. Naggawa sila ng grupo. Gusto nila sariling grupo eh. No? So, but it is true. No? So, for example, I have a baby product or even a pet product. I will go to a community of pet lovers. Kasi yun yung target market ko. Diba? So, it needs to know, and then you get real feedback if your product really works doon sa target market mo. So, that's how you build it. Now, wala akong kakilala, dito lang ako. Yun nga, join Facebook groups. When you join those Facebook groups, you'll get to know the people that really needs your product. You offer it to them, then if they like, they can continue to buy online from you.
Wow, okay. You mentioned two things, the two C's, content and community. Balikan ko lang yung content. How do you present content? Ano yung source mo ng content? Ngayon, talagang napaka-effective based on studies yung video, di ba? Gone were the days na
Static
product
lang.
shot, di ba? O yun lang. But right now, people, recognize that video is it. Video is the appropriate marketing.
Well, that's why content, there are videos that gone viral and there are videos that are not being, hindi
Noticed at all.
pinapansin, di ba?
Uh-uh.
That's where the difference would be. That's why, ang sabi ko, you need to make good content so that you'll be able, para pag maganda yung content, it goes viral, it's technically free marketing na yun.
But how do you make it viral?
I hire people that are good in marketing to do
Okay.
those content. Yun ang totoo. So that, because not all of us are really good in hindi ako marunong mag-edit ng photo eh. So yun yung problema ko. So I really need to hire graphic designers, graphic artists for me to have, realistic, enticing photos. So yan. Now, good content, that's why we have a lot of different content creators. Ang daming content creators sa Pilipinas. You can tap with, partner with, so that they can be the one to sell or create content for your products rin.
But you have to consider that specific target market nga.
Yes.
Pero ano ang pinaka-active buyers based on your research, on your data? Sino yung may purchasing power talaga?
Parang yung mga misis natin, di ba?
Tama. Totoo yan. Oo. Mga...
No question. Sige. Sabi ko nga, women makes the world go round. Makes the economy go round.
Tama din.
Pero demographics-wise, for electronics lang ang mga lalaki talaga. Gadgets are male-dominated. But most of the other categories, female-dominated or female makes the decisions in terms of shopping. Or pinapa-order nila, baka asawa pinapa-order sa misis, ganyan. But typically, yan ang demographics natin. There's more female customers, digital customers than male. Except for games and gadgets.
Puro lalaki yun.
Lalaki.
Pero paano naman yung mga millennials? Parang sinasabi nila, ito, parang ang laki na, parang sa election, di ba? Ang laki ng boto ng mga millennial group. Ganun din ba yun? Parang, does it reflect in the data na parang sila...
Sila talaga ang dominating, let's say, millennials would be the number one, then Gen Zs, before the Gen X and baby boomers. Yun talaga yung demographics. Because millennials started the internet era. Gen Z was born. Gen Z, sabi nga nila, they learn first to swipe before they talk.
Oo nga eh.
So these are digital native. That's why in our company, we have, ang average age namin is 23, 24.
23, 24.
So that they know, they're already digital natives, they know how to relate to their consumer. So yun yung importante rin.
I see. Okay, the next C is community. Di ba sabi mo, like say for example, you have our social media influencers here also, Ira and Mick. So parang dito, you said, part of growing the community is joining Facebook groups. So dito ba, when you do that, what specific interest? Do you also have to consider the target market of that specific product or that interest of that certain community? Kunyari, kami sir, may entertainment, may news. So in the same manner that with the many commodities categories, ano yung mga sasalihan mo na Facebook groups?
Yeah, so it depends on the interest ng tao. That's why we do a lot of two things. Yung community is something that you can do organic. Join communities, wala masyadong gastos. But if you want, level up, do ads in the digital space because Facebook, Instagram, TikTok can be the one to target your interest group.
Tama.
No, so but you have to pay them. Yeah, you have to pay them. So two things yan. Kung nagtitipid ka, limited resources mo, nag-umpisa ka pa lang, join ka lang Facebook group, bigay ka ng sabi mo, may akong free sample, tapos maganda feedback, order na sila always. That's the organic way for the MSME. Now, for the people that want to, scale it up, we do have a lot of, tinatawag natin performance marketing that targets the interest of those consumers so that can convert to sales. So yun yung mga ginagawa. That's why Facebook is one of the biggest company because they sell ads. Because they have the profile ng hinahanap mo in their algorithm already. So yun.
Now, Steve, you mentioned almost all of the platforms. Can you describe somehow the native character of each platform? Example, parang dahil sa dinami-dami ng brands na hawak mo na ngayon na retailers, I'm sure nagtatanong, the likes of Unilever, P&G, okay, will I do Instagram for this brand category or will I do YouTube for this category?
Well, I always say, di ba sabi natin, content is king, distribution is queen. The more platforms you join, the better. Kasi you distribute it Hindi ka lang kung if you have enough resources, the more platforms, the better. Para si Net25, meron kayong Facebook, YouTube, all of the social media platforms.
We have TikTok na rin.
TikTok na rin. Bakit? Because you want to reach everyone. That's the way of thinking. I do not isolate. But I always say, what are the low-hanging fruits that you can start with? Diba? May mga phases tayo sa negosyo, pwede tayo mag-umpisa muna. So if you're an SME, you want to start your online shop, I would suggest rather than creating your own website or Shopify, you can start with Lazada, Shopee because low-hanging fruit yan. They already built that infrastructure that people have seamlessly buy and they have the organic reach already. No? So yun yung because phases yan As you grow your online business, ang daming complexity.
So gamitin mo na yung established na muna bago ka
yung low-hanging fruit and then you can continue to grow.
Which is, this one is related question. With technology evolving fast, how does a small business or businesses adapt to the changes in e-commerce, keeping in mind that their own operations capital is still limited?
Which is a very good question. That's why if you have limited resources, go for the simple ones first. Ako, 90% of Filipinos are shopping in either Lazada or Shopee. Or pag food ka naman, Grab or Food Panda. Yun lang naman yung mga pinupuntahan natin, di ba? So, be on those shops. Create your store on those platforms. Kasi yun yung nandoon na yung organic reach. Meron ka ng base market that you can cater. Now, in terms of learning how to do it, that's why we're in the information age. All the information needed to set up an online shop is there already. Ang question, will you execute and study it? But then, nandun na. That's why yung mga younger ones are the ones better because mas digital savvy sila. That's why they can, parang anak ko, ilang taon pa lang, marunong mag-YouTube, magsarili, di ba? Yun yung kakagulat sa panahon ngayon, sa mga younger generations. They're digital savvy, that's why they can easily navigate yung mga platforms.
Okay. Now, Steve, you mentioned kanina earlier, parang may binanggit ka na end-to-end solutions. So, parang from the beginning of the process down to the end of the process. Can you describe each process as e-commerce enabler and saan yung mga challenges doon? Marami din yung mga businesses na excited na sila. Ang ganda ng marketing, ang ganda ng content, ang ganda ng feedback ng community. Pero baka mamaya, pagdating doon sa delivery ng product, doon naman nagkakaproblema. Ano yung proseso na yon at ano yung mga challenges sa bawat proseso?
Okay. Yung question na yan is so enormous, kumbaga, no? So let's start with, of course, the digital content is vital because yan yung unang pagpasok ng isang digital consumer sa online shop mo, yan yung unang makikita no? And then, we also talk about the back end, warehousing, fulfillment, picking, packing. Now, two things. If meron tayong tatawag na funnel, brand awareness, then interest, then sales, conversion, and then repurchase. Diba? Yan yung front funnel. Or tawag namin demand creation. So, in this area, meron tayong mga digital agencies that does it for us. Yung mga creative agency, yun nga, Great Deals, yung kumpanya namin, we does end-to-end. So, from that, we do that. And then, yung back-end naman is yung warehousing, pick, pack, fulfillment. Because sa amin, in 24 hours, we dispatch to the last mile logistic partners so that customer can receive their goods in a very good condition. And fast. Kasi ang Pilipino, pag matagal, tinatamad, naiinis.
Ayaw
So,
na.
importante rin yun. And then, mayroon kaming customer service that we take care also so that any concern ng customer, nasaan na order ko, di ba? Yung mga tanong di ba? We can always assist them. No? So, yun yung end-to-end. And syempre, all of these things have challenges. No? That's why there's an enabler business. That's why meron kaming mga kumpanya katulad namin that can handle all of this. So that the brand can just focus on manufacturing, branding, marketing their products online. But the e-commerce channel can be outsourced to us. So yun yung e-commerce enablement.
Wow, thank you. That was a very short and I think the simplest and the layman way of describing that enablement. A related question, touching on fulfilling customers' needs, e-commerce shoppers sometimes get frustrated with the delivery of items bought. Sinabi natin kanina, as an enabler, how crucial is having fulfillment centers to the whole e-commerce ecosystem?
Well, na-share ko nga kanina that we have set up hyper-localization strategy, fulfillment centers in Visayas, Mindanao, for us to be able to deliver faster and shipping fee costs cheaper. So, for us to be able to target Visayas and Mindanao kababayans natin to fully experience the shopping experience, we need to have that hyper-localization strategy.
Pero yun ba, balak mo din gawin sa ibang bansa? Assuming there's going to be, parang do you plan to also do it in other parts of the world?
We do have, we do have regional ambitions rin naman. But for this year, we're focusing on the Philippine market because penetration rate ng Pilipinas still very, very small. A lot of opportunities for us to be able to grow the e-commerce space dito sa Pilipinas.
Yung sinabi mo kanina na 3% lang yung contribution ng e-commerce
Sa total retail sales.
total retail sales, what do you think are the key drivers so that it will somehow hit 5-10% or based on your projection?
I think it's just a matter of time because a lot of us are working in this industry to improve it and to help digitalize the Philippines. So, I think yung startup ecosystem natin is thriving and there's a lot of people trying to create these solutions for us to have a digitalized Philippines. Kaya ako, I always look at 5 to 10 years from now, how do I digitalize the Philippines? Yun yung exciting part na everything will be automated, everything will be online so that, less corruption, less mistake, faster service, better service. So yun yung, I think, we want to enable, not just in the e-commerce space, but also enable to have a dream of the digitalized Philippines. Yun.
Wow, that's something very patriotic and something that's also aligned with the vision of government. I remember the DTI has this e-commerce roadmap, and also based on the latest SONA, the President would want to focus on digitalization. What's your take on this? Have you shared somehow some of the ideas that you have, to also protect the industry that you yourself have started?
Well, we're doing our part, but we're not relying on government. Sa amin, you pay your taxes right, you support the government, that's already a good, a good Filipino. Now, in terms of, kasi we want to make it fast, that's why we're in business. We also want to make money, we want to be the first mover. That's why, habang wala pa yung support ng government, we're not willing to wait, we're willing to help digitalize the Philippines.
Wow, and what's your outlook? Lalo na parang nag-boom ang e-commerce, ang online sales during the pandemic. Ano yung napansin mo din sa consumer behavior ng mga namimili? Are they now more discerning? Are they price conscious? Are they more health conscious? What have you observed in terms of customer behavior?
Alam mo, ang Pilipino we are a consumer-driven economy. That's why ang ekonomiya ng Pilipinas is always like this. I would say, compared to our, neighbors that are yung economy ng, for example, Thailand, because they're very tourist-centered, pag ganun-ganon. Ang Pilipino, gastos lang ng gastos, ilom ng ilom, kain ng kain, no? So, simple lang tayo pag tapos OFW tayo.
At hindi lang yun, ang dami pa nating bagyo-bagyo, earthquakes and all that.
Diba? At saka OFW is, yun yung pinaka-primary source of our
remittances,
growth. Diba? Remittances, all of these things. So, I think, and we have a very young population. So, very young, one of the youngest in the region of Philippines. No? I think second youngest in the whole of Southeast Asia. So, our demographics are digital savvy. So, those are the things that is going great for the Philippines. No? Of course, there will be a lot of challenges sa ekonomiya natin and everything, but hopefully, ako, kahit ano naging ilang presidente na, resilient pa rin ang Pilipino. So, we continue to thrive because we're a consumer-driven economy talaga.
Okay. We, at this point, would like to ask you, Steve, to also address the viewers, the small business owners na sila ay maging isang Steve C din. Parang I'm sure that there's a lot of challenges that you have had in the past, and what are your entrepreneurial tips that you can share with your
So
camera?
maybe I could share a story na lang about the bamboo tree effect. Alam mo tayong mga Filipino, we have what we call instant gratification mindset. Gusto natin instant noodle, lahat mabilis. Sabi nga nila, pag nagtanim ka ng monggo, kinabukasan may monggo plant ka na. Diba? Let's not be like a monggo. Pag sampagita tinanim mo, 1 week pa lang, meron ka ng sampagita tree. But if you plant a bamboo seed, it will take 5 years for you to see something grow. But in just a few weeks, that bamboo tree will grow 100 feet. And then you'll be amazed. Ang bilis naman nag-grow nito. Dapat ganun tayo mag-isip sa negosyo. Let's not have a mongo mindset, but a bamboo tree mindset. Looking at the long term, building our roots so that when people see us grow, we're sturdy and foundational. Yun.
Wow, that's perfect. That's a perfect way to end this conversation. But before we end, what's next for Steve C? Is it going to be expansion? Is it going to be another company? Or is it going to be supporting startups?
So there's still a lot of work to be done in digitalizing the Philippines. So we'll just keep on working and see how we can contribute to the growth of our Filipino economy.
Open for Business will be back. Stay with us.
Si Eri at Junseo ay tatapusin natin kahit anong mangyari.
Bitiwan mo ako!
Handang ipaglaban, lumabas lang ang katotohanan.
Hello, Madam Choi.
Patawarin niyo ako. Simula ngayon sa araw na ito, kami ng asawa ko ay hindi ka naguguluhin pa.
Ako magpapasya kung anong ipapagawa ko sa'yo. Hindi ikaw.
Ngunit maninindigan sa duwag na pamantayan.
Sinisiraan mo ako sa harapan nila. Kaya dapat lang sagutin mo ako. Dahil kung hindi mo gagawin yun, ako ang kukuha ng sagot. Gustong-gusto ko makaganti.
Akong bahala sa kanila. May ginawa ako magandang plano at magtiwala ka lang.
Kahit ano pang mangyari, ilalabas ko ang buong katotohanan.
Fatal Promise.
Panalo tayo pag together, walang talo pag together. Let's stand together sa Net 25.
Welcome back to Open for Business, and now for our business news. U.S. hits 9.1% inflation rate in June, highest in 40 years. The Consumer Price Index in the U.S. rose to 9.1% in June 2022 over the same period in 2021, its fastest pace since November 1981, according to reports. The rate is well above the 8.8% estimate of Dow Jones, and the increase came from the broader sources of inflation. BSP hikes interest rates by 75 basis points. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas raised benchmark interest rates by 75 basis points, bringing overnight borrowing rates to 3.25%. BSP Governor Felipe M. Medalla expressed the central bank's readiness to take further policy measures to control the broadening inflation movement. China recorded its lowest gross domestic product expansion at only 0.4% for the quarter ending June 2022 versus the same period last year, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. This is the weakest performance of the world's second-largest economy since the first quarter of 2020, when the world was reeling from the effects of COVID-19. And now for our Millennial feature. Millennials continue to be the dominant age in online commerce, surpassing all other age groups in terms of annual online spending. E-commerce can be done on computers, tablets, mobile phones, and other smart devices, and it operates across a wide range of markets. During boom times, e-commerce is offering a huge opportunity for business owners to open a store and start selling. Obviously, this is the market to focus on for the success of e-commerce. Millennial consumers are far more tech-savvy and better informed than previous generations. They see things in a different way than the previous age of the buyer. If you are planning to create a startup business in the e-commerce platform, this is for you. First, make a buying experience that is mobile-friendly. Make a website that loads quickly and has big buttons for mobile devices. Make the checkout process as easy as straightforward as you can by requesting the fewest details possible. Second, offer a variety of payment options and set up international shipping. Your clients will find it simpler to add things to your e-commerce shopping basket. Make a buy and convert if your payment options are more diversified. You must consider international shipping as a significant component. By doing this, product delivery efficiency may be ensured. Third, create marketing campaigns and offer couponing techniques. Prior to making purchases, online shoppers are constantly searching for discounts. If you offer coupons and discounts, they are more inclined to visit your online store. The way individuals shop and use goods and services has changed as a result of e-commerce. During the COVID-19 pandemic, internet sales of goods and services gained more significance as consumers and business owners embrace e-commerce. Digital usage is increasing right now. The retail e-commerce sector is revolutionizing the market like never before. I am Jasmine Agustin for Open for Business.
Open for Business is at the helm. E-commerce and metaverse, can these two coexist? Definitely. Experts are now seeing e-commerce as the largest economic force for the metaverse. As TechWire Asia puts it, the metaverse is just too big for businesses to ignore. Sinasabing ang mga negosyong nagpapakita ng kawalang interes sa metaverse ay posibleng maungusan ng mga kakumpetensya nilang may plano na tungkol dito. Hindi lang kasi Meta ang nagtataguyod ngayon ng metaverse, kundi maging ang Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Roblox, Snapchat, Amazon at iba pang malalaking kumpanya. The future of the metaverse is indeed shaping up. So when does e-commerce come into picture? E-commerce continues to be a driving force in the economy. According to FTI Consulting, online retail sales will reach the $1 trillion milestone in the third quarter of 2022. A report by McKinsey & Company predicts metaverse to grow up to a whopping $5 trillion by 2030, with e-commerce as the largest economic force, generating more than half or $2.6 trillion revenue. Forecasters say e-commerce will surpass virtual learning, advertising, and gaming. Still not convinced? Well, keep in mind that $120 billion has already been invested in the metaverse this year. That's from companies, venture capital, and private equity firms. Soon, and as predicted, E-commerce will start to exist almost entirely in the metaverse.
Ang show na siksik sa tawanan.
Anong una natin gagawin?
Ang show na laging may baong pampagood vibes. Alas 9:12. Kasi alam mo naman, pag tatlong mga marites.
Kalagkarin. Kalagkarin. Ang palakpakan. Ang utang sa likod ng ASPN.
Ang show kung saan mahalaga ang bawat opinion nyo sa mga maiinit na issue ng bayan.
Ayan, i-compute mo na kung magkano sa halagang 50. Hindi, joke lang. May tawad ako? 30 na? Ha?
Tawad na yun.
Mga issue ang kasagutan ay sa programa natin unang napanood at napakinggan. Kaya naman gawing morning habit na ang panonood ng ASPN. Ano sa palagay nyo? Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 10 ng umaga, mapapanood nyo ang ASPN sa Net25.
Talo tayo pag together, walang talo pag together. Let's stand together sa Net25.
Open for Business is back, and our buzzword of the week is e-commerce. It is the sale of purchase of goods and services, whether between businesses, households, individuals, governments, and other public or private organizations conducted over computer-mediated networks. The goods and services are ordered over those networks, but the payment and the ultimate delivery of the goods or service may be conducted on or offline. E-commerce is no longer just a buzzword, but a reality that we all now need and depend on. It has become an engine on its own. Along with its growth and being more than a revenue stream, there is one important realization that has become invaluable to the business. There is a whole community of enablers helping each other to deliver to us, customers, the products that we want in less time. These enablers, from the sellers, payment gateways, backend operations, brains optimizing content tailored to our preferences, logistics, and the riders handling our products, take the cudgels of day-to-day challenges to fulfill our buying desires. And with that, our quote of the week is from Jean-Paul Agon, the chairman and former CEO of L'Oreal. He said, "E-commerce isn't the cherry on the cake. It has become the new cake." Maraming salamat sa aming guest, Mr. Steve C. At maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama ninyo sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us on our Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25 TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you are informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Maraming salamat.